Today, we're diving into another distressing case alongside you, Thomas. Known for his role in the Elmira, New York Jackals, 2 tiers below the NHL, Tom Clayton was a local sensation in Elmira, celebrated for his prowess on the ice and his reputation as an agitator, adept at getting under opponents' skin through verbal jabs and physical confrontations. Tom's assertive demeanor wasn't confined to the rink, but spilled over into his daily life. He exuded confidence and was unafraid to defend himself and pursue his interests, earning him a reputation as a resilient figure both on and off the ice. Coupled with his rugged good looks, Tom effortlessly commanded attention, often enjoying the perks of his hockey stardom, such as complimentary drinks and dinners. Amidst the stream of admirers, one individual stood out to Tom: Kelley Stage. Unlike many others, Kelley possessed a distinct charm and a spirited personality. Hailing from West Elmira, her love for country music led her to Nashville, where she pursued her academic aspirations while immersing herself in the city's vibrant music culture. However, a fortuitous encounter with Tom at an Elmira hockey game altered her course, sparking an immediate connection between them. Despite reservations from Kelley's inner circle regarding Tom's occasionally questionable behavior, Kelley remained steadfast in her commitment to him, defending his actions as playful banter. Their bond deepened over time, culminating in marriage. However, their bliss was short-lived when Tom suffered a career-ending injury, forcing him to transition to a conventional job with ServPro. As Tom adapted to his new role, Kelley devoted herself to their family, finding fulfillment in motherhood and creating a warm, nurturing environment for their children. The Claytons appeared to embody domestic perfection, residing in a picturesque mountain home that epitomized tranquility. Yet, their harmonious facade shattered one fateful September evening in 2015. Returning home from a poker game, Tom stumbled upon a harrowing scene. His wife, Kelley, lying motionless on the kitchen floor, her body stained with blood. Frantic, he dialed 911, desperately seeking assistance in the face of tragedy. The dispatcher directed Tom to administer CPR to his wife, but Tom, devastated, informed the dispatcher that Kelley was beyond saving. Later that night, a police officer arrived at the home of Tom and Kelley Clayton. Upon entering, the officer was shocked by the gruesome scene in the kitchen. Kelley lay lifeless on the floor, her face marred by blunt force trauma, blood splattered throughout. Reacting swiftly, the officer secured Tom and escorted him from the premises. Outside, the officer questioned Tom about the events. Tom claimed uncertainty, stating he had found his wife in such a state upon returning home, his daughter Charlie mentioning a cautious intruder. Inspecting Tom's hands for evidence of involvement, the officer found nothing suspicious. Concerned, backup was called, and a paramedic pronounced Kelley deceased. The brutality of her demise prompted a full-scale investigation. As the police cordoned off the residence, Tom notified Kelley's sister Kim of the tragedy. Kim and their mother, Liz, rushed to the scene, greeted by a scene of dread. Despite their pleas, they were denied access to Kelley, her appearance too altered by the violence. Learning of Kelley's demise shattered Kim, her grief echoing in cries of despair. As a coroner's van arrived, a somber gathering prayed for Kelley as her body was respectfully transferred. Throughout the night, investigators meticulously combed the Clayton home, yet no new leads emerged. The absence of a murder weapon puzzled investigators, though Kelley's injuries indicated a blunt object. Signs suggested she sought refuge in Charlie's room before the assault continued downstairs. Despite Tom's mention of a possible intruder, no forced entry was found, and valuables remained untouched. The absence of evidence led detectives to ponder if the tragedy stemmed from domestic discord, though Tom maintained an alibi, claiming to be elsewhere during the fateful night. If this were accurate, it would have rendered Tom incapable of murdering Kelley. At the crime scene, an officer questioned the couple's neighbor, who insisted that Tom and Kelley appeared happy and had no notable issues. At the police station, detectives interviewed Tom Clayton about his wife's murder. He reaffirmed his alibi, claiming he was playing poker that evening. The detectives decided to verify his story by speaking with the other players. Tom had mentioned being at Greg and Linda Miller's house that night, and all the players confirmed his presence. Although his alibi seemed solid, the detectives noted his unsettlingly calm demeanor given the situation. Despite repeated questioning, Tom denied any involvement in Kelley's murder. Tragically, their 7-year-old daughter, Charlie, had witnessed her mother's assault. Detectives were careful in their approach to questioning her, first building rapport with activities like board games before asking her about the incident. Charlie described an intruder dressed in a mask, long-sleeved black shirt, and jeans, wielding a weapon resembling a metal pipe. She recalled her mother shouting, "Run, Charlie, run!" Before the intruder pushed Kelley down the stairs, Charlie followed and saw the intruder beat Kelley to death in the kitchen. Believing her mother to be dead, she lay beside her, clutching her leg. Throughout the interview, Charlie seemed emotionally detached. She noted that the intruder had eyes resembling her father's, but insisted he couldn't have hurt her mother since he would need to care for them. Based on evidence from the crime scene and Charlie's testimony, the detectives believed the intruder had intended to murder Kelley rather than rob the house. After questioning Tom Clayton, detectives charged him with second-degree murder. Tom pleaded not guilty but was released on bail. Returning to the house where Kelley had been murdered, he cleaned up and continued living there. Within a month of Kelley's death, Tom was gambling in Atlantic City and having sexual relations with multiple women. His apparent lack of grief further aroused detectives' suspicions. They found Tom's actions inconsistent with those of a devoted husband mourning his wife, but Tom continued to declare his love for Kelley and insisted he would never harm her. He claimed he was planning a second honeymoon with her. He also pushed the detectives to check his work truck's GPS records, which showed he returned home at 12:35 a.m. Despite verifying his arrival time, the detectives remained suspicious. In their investigation, detectives spoke with Greg and Linda Miller, who confirmed Tom's unusual behavior on the night of the murder. Normally cheerful and talkative, he was unusually quiet and spent much of the night texting on his phone. However, they couldn't believe he was capable of hurting Kelley. The detectives also interviewed Kelley's sister Kim, who revealed that Tom's close friend and co-worker, Michael Beard, could be of interest. Beard had served as Tom's assistant, often relied upon for tasks, and even babysitting Charlie and Colin when Kelley ran errands. Their professional relationship was strong, as Tom was also Beard's landlord. Despite his praise for Kelley and the children, Beard's connection to Tom became a focal point in the investigation. They were paying a monthly rent of $1,000. However, the situation worsened when Michael was caught drinking at work, prompting Tom to fire him. This not only cost Michael his job, but also put him in financial distress because he was already behind on rent payments to Tom. Tom's decision to terminate Michael impacted both his job and housing, leading Tom to initiate eviction proceedings that deepened Michael's financial struggles. Now facing joblessness and potential eviction, Michael was in a difficult position. Detectives later brought Michael Beard to the station for questioning about Kelley's murder. In the interview, Michael claimed he was at home all night during Kelley's murder. Meanwhile, Linda Miller, where Tom was playing poker that night, recalled a suspicious incident. Tom had asked to use her phone, although his own phone appeared to be working. He made a call at 10:53 p.m., but Linda later discovered the call details had been deleted from her phone. Detectives obtained Greg and Linda Miller's phone records and found the number Tom called that night. The number belonged to Michael Beard. When detectives realized this, they interviewed Michael again, but he denied involvement in Kelley's murder. The detectives then questioned Michael's partner, Holly, who revealed that Michael was not home the entire night of the murder. Having left around 11 p.m., Holly also stated that Tom had once asked Michael to burn down his house for $10,000 to collect the insurance payout. Confronted with this information, Michael confessed to killing Kelley in exchange for a promised $10,000 payment from Tom, which he said he never received. In his confession, Michael outlined the plan to kill Kelley while the children were away at their grandmother's house. Tom instructed him to use gas cans from the garage to set the house on fire afterward to collect insurance on the house and vehicles. However, Michael said he fled the scene without setting the fire. Michael then led the police to the murder weapon, a sledgehammer-like object that tested positive for Kelley's DNA. He also showed them where he had disposed of his bloody clothing. Michael's friend, Mark Blanford, also contacted the detectives, stating that Michael had asked for his help that night in exchange for $500. Mark believed it was a drug-related task. He said Michael told him he had to kill a bitch and was surprised the children were home. Based on these findings, Michael Beard was arrested and charged with first-degree murder for Kelley Clayton's death. Detectives believe 7-year-old Charlie didn't see her father during the attack, but mistook the attacker for him because of his attire. Tom, Kelley's husband, had recently increased a substantial life insurance policy on Kelley before her murder. Detectives suspected this could have been a motive, as Kelley would have received a significant portion of Tom's assets in a divorce. Detectives also believed that Tom Clayton wanted his children killed as well. Michael Beard supported this claim, alleging that Tom had shared the details of the plan with him. According to Michael, Tom said the children would be staying with their grandmother and instructed Michael to burn down the house after killing Kelley. However, Tom knew the children would be at home, suggesting a deliberate plan to ensure their deaths. Before his trial, Michael recanted his confession and claimed he didn't kill Kelley. Instead, he said he had walked into the Clayton home to find her on the floor, covered in blood. Afraid of how it would look, he fled without calling 911. Michael later claimed his confessions were coerced, but he was still found guilty in 2016 and sentenced to life without parole. In a later interview, Michael stated he saw another man running from the Clayton house that night. However, this raised questions about why he hadn't mentioned this information earlier. Mark Blanford, who acted as a lookout, pleaded guilty to second-degree manslaughter in exchange for testifying against Tom. Although he had a criminal record spanning 30 years, he had never faced such serious charges. At sentencing, he expressed remorse and apologized to Kelley's family for his involvement. During Michael's trial, multiple women testified that they had been in relationships with Tom while he was married to Kelley, with one claiming he frequently spoke negatively about his wife. The defense argued that infidelity didn't mean Tom was a murderer, but the jury still found him guilty of second-degree murder. Today, Tom's children are in the care of their Aunt Kim, Kelley's sister, and have a strong support system. In Kelley's honor, a park was built where she used to take her children, and her son fondly calls a bench there, Mommy's Bench. Thanks for watching. If you're fascinated by the darker side of human nature and intrigued by the mysteries surrounding crime and murder, you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated on the latest chilling cases and gripping investigations. Remember, the truth is often stranger than fiction, and there's always more to uncover. Stay curious, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.